We'll talk a little bit about safe shopping. When you're online and you're shopping at a retailer, how do you protect yourself from identity theft? Well, I've got a few things listed. If you look under the assignment that you have for the week, you're supposed to look at these bulleted items and study them. And so I'm going to just run through those briefly with you and highlight the important parts. One, it says to shop from home instead of using a public network. So what you want to do is work at home, because generally your home network is going to be more secure than a Wi-Fi network. Now that said, your home network may not be that secure either if you don't have your Wi-Fi set up with proper encryption. So you can always use a wire to actually plug into your home network typically, and that's the most secure place you could be typically. But if you're at Starbucks or McDonald's or wherever it is you get your Wi-Fi, you're susceptible to others that might be getting your information. So if you're shopping online especially, you want to make sure that that data is encrypted, and it's probably safer at home. The next item is to avoid obscure websites for purchasing. And what I'm saying there is, anywhere you go and you give your credit card, you take a risk that that person or that website could use your credit card. Obscure websites are going to be more susceptible to this. You know less about them. You're unsure if they're really credible. And so it's just like if you give your credit card to some retailer someplace. The big box stores are typically better, and I mentioned that the next item, or the two items down, to stick with big retailers. They're usually better, although they are also susceptible because they're bigger targets. People will go for them when they might not target smaller retailers. But if it's an obscure website, you're unsure of it, and you don't want to give your credit card, then you might want to make sure that you stick to the more well-known websites that you would trust. Make sure you have the real website. Sometimes you can transpose a letter or two in the name, and you might get a totally different website that looks like the real website. So it's you need to be careful that you're actually shopping at the correct website. Stick to the big retailers. Like I said, sometimes they're better because they can protect. They usually have a staff, an IT staff, that's pretty well versed in trying to stop cybersecurity threats. Not always, but most of the time they're probably better than your small mom and pop operation who doesn't really have the staff to protect themselves against hackers. Protect your purchases though. Usually credit card purchases are protected, so your credit card company may call you and say somebody's been using your credit card, and you can stop that payment or you can get a new card. So those are usually protected. By the way, debit cards are a little harder to protect just because of the nature of the way they're set up. It may be harder to make a claim with a debit card. So some people say you should use credit cards over debit cards for certain purchases to protect yourself online. There's other things you can do, like a Google Trusted Store, PayPal Trusted Protection. These are places that will ensure or help ensure that your credit card is not taken by someone else. This is kind of kind of outlier here, but the next item is look for online reviews. When you're shopping for things, just look for reviews and other people that have used the product. I mean, Amazon's got some great reviews. You got to be careful that people don't make fake reviews. But for the most part, that's a great thing about using technology in today's world. You can rely on those products that are 5 stars or better, or 4 thumbs up and better, or things like that. Those are good ways of helping to ensure that you're getting good products. Finally, last but not least, look for, when you're shopping and when you're surfing the web in general, anytime you see HTTP, that's not generally a secure site. Instead, you need HTTPS, which the S stands for Secure Sockets Layer, but basically we can think of it as being more secure. That means that when you're sending a signal from your computer, for example, or your phone to a Wi-Fi connection, what that means is the data is encrypted, and actually it means that it's encrypted from your phone or your device all the way to the website, because the website is where you're going to get this HTTPS. So you're saying the data is encrypted, which means that the letters and so forth are scrambled in such a way that people can't make sense out of them. They can read the information that flows through an encrypted channel, but they can't make sense of it because it's all scrambled and they just don't know what it is. So you want to look for encryption. You want encryption to be the data to be encrypted from your device all the way to the website, and that's what HTTPS, when you see it in the address bar of the website, that's what that means, is that data is encrypted at that website. So coming to and from it can't be intercepted and used. It can be intercepted, but it can't really be used very well. You can set up encryption as well on things like routers. For example, at home, you have a router and you have your device, your computer, or your device, your tablet, your phone, and you can set up Wi-Fi there, and the data should be encrypted as it flows through the airwaves from your device to your router. That's setting up your router to require a certain level of encryption, and that's good as well. So what you're actually doing with HTTPS when you're going to a website, in addition to any encryption you might have going from your device to the router, you have the data is encrypted all the way from your device to the website. So it also includes data from the router. The data from the router to the website is also encrypted as it moves across those pipes, or through those wires, I should say. So that's a few tips for shopping safely online. Hope that helps.